All right, welcome everybody. By the time this Sunday comes around, I'm like, it's been so long since we've had a team meeting. So thanks for hopping on. I am Carly, the CEO and founder of Team Root to Rise. If you guys don't know who I am, I co-host these calls with Cassie, and she is the CEO and founder of The Gratefully Fit, and we are both PS coaches of Jamie Innes, and we're success partners. We work together, we host calls together. If you guys are just starting up your own teams, I definitely recommend you start doing team calls with a success partner. It makes it way more fun and exciting to have somebody to bounce ideas back with. But my computer actually has been overheating because it's literally like 90 degrees in my tiny home right now, perks of tiny home living. So hopefully it doesn't like freak out. This is recording, so if anybody wants to rewatch this or you have coaches that didn't hop on tonight, you can definitely share with them this link. I'll upload it within the next 48 hours to the team page so you can see it. And then maybe if you need to take some extra notes or something as well. But we're both going to go through a little bit of things about social media and then also how to pair social media with like a marketing strategy on Hitting Success Club. Because obviously if we're here because we're coaches, and we're here because we like changing people's lives and helping them live a happier and healthier lifestyle, and we do that through selling challenge packs to people and giving people the resources that they need to instill a healthy and happy life. And obviously for coaches, we believe that that is how we do it through Beachbody. So I'm going to start off with my recognition for my coaches who have been absolutely killing it. Mind you, it is only the first half of the month. There are still 15 Is there 31 days in July? I don't know. 15 days left in the month, so you guys have plenty of time to still hit Success Club. Obviously, the bare minimum is always SC6, so you're changing at least 3 lives a month. If you do the math on that, it's changing or helping one person every 10 days, which I feel like is totally doable. So I'm just gonna read this off really quickly. So on the top of Team Root to Rise leaderboard, I'm at Success Club 36 with 9 new coaches. Leanna Swords is at SC18 with 6 new coaches. Kylie Tolsma is at SC10 with 1 new coach. Lexi is at SC10 with 4 new coaches. Heck yeah. Crystal Clander, you have to put your name in order because you are at SC20 and 7 new coaches. Damn girl, bye ya. Vic Phillips is at SC10 with 5 new coaches, and Kayla Eck is at SC10 with 4 new coaches. Way to freaking go, girl. And I know that was your first month of hitting SC10. So I'm just listing off the leaders. For mine, Cassie, you can go ahead and share on yours as well.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Cool. Yeah, okay. Okay, so from our July Success Club points, at the top we have me with SC18 and 4 new coaches. I have Kayla, she's at SC10 plus 4 new coaches. Cassidy Miller at SC8 plus 1 new coach. Jen Kelman, SC6 plus 2 new coaches. Elisa, SC8. And Katie Lindsay at SC6 plus 1 new coach. And I have quite a few girls who are at SC4. So we are super, super close. So just keep, like she said, there's like 15 days left in the month or something. So plenty of time. You guys are doing amazing.
All right, Cassie, do you want me to hit it off or do you want to go first? Me? Okay, cool. I actually created a little document for you guys, so I'm going to share my screen and look at this, but I'm going to really dive into the social media aspect of it, and I know I talked about on the announcement that it was like a marketing strategy for Hitting Success Club. And then Cassie's going to talk about like the behind the scenes stuff of like talking to clients and talking to challengers. So you can actually set people up and say, you know, okay, registration opens the 1st of the next month. So, I mean, Cassie, you guys, literally, she hits Success Club before me every single month. She's always at SC6 by like the 1st or 2nd, which is always insane. But like she makes sure to like set up her clients and get them signed up so that she starts the month off strong. It's not like you're going into a month blind and you're like, okay, hopefully clients sign up with me because, yeah, but I mean, that's good. So you know that you can show up in that month and not feel like you have that anxiety of hitting Success Club. Like this should be fun. You should want to help change people's lives, and the bare minimum should always be SC6, but you can really strategize that. And I mean, you see Jamie and Sammy and all those people on Team Fight to Finish do this as well. Like Jamie never doesn't hit SC10 by, usually it's like the 5th, I would say, just because she has clients set up and ready to join the 1st or 2nd of the month. And she says, hey, enrollment is not going to open until August 1st or July 1st or whatever. And she gets them set up right then and there. And that's a strategy of hers that she's created. So she never is wondering whether she's going to hit Success Club. And then that gives her the rest of the month to pour love onto her challengers, to pour love into her coaches, and have the rest of the month be really fun actually working with these people. Because I always remind people, like, we are unlike any other network marketing company because our job starts after the sale happens, right? We're coaches, and that's why we're here. We help people through these programs and help people change their lives. So it's not like we sell a challenge pack and we're like, okay, deuces, like, good luck. luck with that. Like, no, like we're actually here to help them. So, I mean, yeah, selling a challenge pack is awesome, but like, you know, the journey really doesn't start till afterwards. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up and start sharing my screen. Let's see. Okay, can you guys see this? I'm gonna minimize this guy. All right, so I named this marketing. Actually, can I? There we go, that looks better. All right, marketing you and how it can help you crush this business, you guys. I'm gonna say like a little like prereq or just like to talk about this beforehand. This is the way that I run my social media, and when Cassie talks about the way that she does things, that's the way that she does it. There are a lot of other coaches in the network that have found success in other ways, but personally, guys, I have found a massive amount of success. Like the things that our team is doing is unlike any other team in the network, and I firmly believe it is because of the ability of me to take myself seriously from day one and be able to market not just Beachbody, but market myself as an individual, as a human being, because in all reality, like Beachbody is a relationship business. And if you're not posting enough to create a relationship with your followers, it's going to be really hard for you to actually build a team of people who are similar to you and that are like fun people to work with, right? So when I say marketing, we're going to be talking about marketing you as an individual and how that can transform your business, how that can instill belief and trust in your followers, and how that, when you do a call to action about, hey, who wants to join my fitness group, you have people saying, hell yeah, I want to join your fitness group. You don't even need to tell me anything about it. I love who you are and who you've displayed yourself to be on social media. I feel like we're best friends and I want to work with you, because that's literally the emails that I get, because I pour so much effort and so much consistency in sharing who I am on my social media platform that nobody ever has a question on whether they're going to get results when they join my program. Nobody ever has questions on what an accountability group looks like or what coaching really is, because I am 100% transparent because of the amount of times I post every day and like the quality of the posts and what I'm talking about in my post. So that's what we're going to really dive into. So my first thing is, it's kind of like a little activity, but I want you guys to really ask yourself, and this is something that I tell all of my new coaches. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen out, you can start jotting down some things right now, but this is also something that maybe you could do after the call and just really start to think about this. But I would ask you guys, who are you? Not as a Beachbody coach, not as a fitness guru, not as somebody who's doing the 21-day fix or Lift 4 or whatever. But if you were to ask yourself, who are you? And then go and look at your Instagram or go and look at your Facebook. Are you giving your audience someone to be friends with? Are you sharing enough on your platform to where somebody can be like a really, really good friend to you? And I always come back to the social media rock star, Amy Rada, who I felt like I was best friends with her before I ever even met her, right? Like I followed her stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, like I know exactly who she is. I know what her dog's name is. I know where she lives. I know what she does every single moment of every single day, because she put enough time and effort into her Instagram to be completely transparent. And guys, that is invaluable. Like the amount of, like if you were to put a value number on her Instagram, it's absolutely insane. And that platform has grown so much and mine has grown so much because I've been able to be absolutely transparent in what I'm doing every single day and what really makes me me. So if you had a piece of paper and a pen, and I would just say, spend 5 or 10 minutes writing down the things that make you you, and don't get so obsessed with fitness, health guru, Beachbody coach, doing Lift 4, doing 21-day fix. Like if you were to say, you know, the things that really make you who you are, what would those things be? For me, it would be, I live in a tiny home. I'm a dog mom to a Pomeranian named Jack. I am a girlfriend to Kevin. I am, you know, a daughter of Carl and Celia, parents that I love, who live on the lake. I have faith. I have like my faith background. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I used to be a yoga teacher. I am a yoga teacher. I used to be really into fashion and work in the corporate world. I have really long hair. I love piercings. Oh my gosh, like I don't even know what else. Like there's just so many things that I can say. I love to hike, I love to camp, I love to paddleboard. I'm really into, I drive a truck. You know, all of these things that maybe at the forefront you're like, well, okay, that doesn't really make you you. But like all of those things together are things that I can continue to post about and share about on my social media platform. And just writing down that list of things and getting your brain going gives you all of these ideas of things to share outside of just, you should join my challenge group. Because I mean, no one's going to want to join a challenge group with a stranger, right? The only reason somebody's going to want to join your fitness group instead of somebody else's fitness group is if you spend enough time really creating an authentic relationship with your followers. And that means being 100% transparent and sharing with them everything that there is about you. And with that being said, I would really, really encourage you guys to start posting more than once a day, because if I had to limit my posts to once a day, I would not be able to share the amount of things that make me who I am once a day. If you're posting once a day, that means you're posting only 7 times a week. So you're telling me there's only 7 things about you that you can share with your audience in a 7-day period. Like, no, you guys have so many other things that are so amazing in each and every one of your lives. You're doing so many things throughout a week. And I'm not saying they have to be like crazy climbing mountains or camping or whatever, but like there should be more than 7 things that you're doing throughout a week that you should be able to share to your platform, because every time you share something, it's another link, it's another bridge that's created to create that relationship with your followers, for them to follow along your story. And if you're not giving them a story to follow, when you post a call to action and ask them to spend $170 to join your fitness group, they're not going to be interested at all, because you haven't given them enough things to connect with you on a level outside of fitness. And that's really where it all begins. So that's the first little activity that I would really recommend you guys doing. And then this can kind of just look as like your marketing plan. So if somebody were to come to your platform today, and this is what I'm saying when you have to post more than once a day, somebody comes to your platform today and they decide to follow you. All of these things in the middle of this slide, like I mean, how many are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 things right here that you could share throughout a week period that ups your post from more than just once a day, right? But you have to share all of these things in the middle here before you could ever get somebody to purchase on the other side of that, right? So you see how there's this like continuum of like, okay, yeah, I'm going to follow her. I'm going to instill a relationship and trust in her to guide me. And like, I trust her if I was to spend money on like whatever she's providing. And this isn't just in like fitness, right? Like this is in any business, you guys, right? Like, I mean, a lot of you guys are in that leadership group, Make It Rain group that Bree Headley is leading last week. And she was like, you know, the Pura Vida bracelets or whatever, you know, those bracelets that you see or you click on once on Instagram and now they like pop up in your newsfeed and they pop up on your Instagram and they pop up, you know, all these different places in your emails and stuff. That's because that company has a very strict marketing plan. So when somebody ever like says that they're interested in it, now they're going to continue to pop up on their feed. If you're only popping up on someone's feed once a day, like you're not giving people enough opportunity to create that relationship and still trust in you to ever want to get to that purchase. So from following to purchasing, you have to be filled with a whole bunch of things that connect to your follower on a level outside of fitness. So yeah, successful businesses have a marketing plan. Your social media is your marketing plan, guys. So if you're not taking it seriously and sharing enough about all of these different things I talked about, your story, who you are, your brands, and your brands come from that list that I just said that you guys could do, writing out those things on a piece of paper, your transformation, your workouts daily. Guys, if you're not sharing your workouts daily, why would anybody want to trust you to join them or to join you to teach them how to work out daily? And it doesn't count if they're in your story, you guys, because your stories disappear, right? People are always like, well, I post my workouts to my story. Well, that's great. What about the 5 new followers that you got today that have never watched your story ever? Like, you can't just post your workouts to your story because your story disappears. I don't care how good your story is. Your posts are what stays on your feed and lives there forever and gives your following when they initially follow you to instill that trust in that relationship. So if you're not sharing that stuff consistently, it's going to be really hard for them to be like, oh yeah, she's into fitness. She's consistent in her fitness and I trust her to guide me through my fitness journey. Other things, life outside of Beachbody, family outside of Beachbody. Guys, if you're married and you have a husband and maybe he doesn't love Beachbody, I would still highly recommend that he gets in your posts. I remember, Megan, I'm going to pick on you, but I remember when Megan came to our Emerald retreat and I was like, Megan, I need to see more Ryan in your pictures. Like, I don't even know who Ryan is. And now every time she posts a pic with her and Ryan, people love, it totally boosts her platform. And people start to create more of an authentic relationship with Megan because they're like, oh, like Megan's committed to this guy, Ryan, like they have a life together. Like I want to know more about that life with her and him together. Right. You know, you have to capitalize on those things, you guys, and you have to be willing to share those things. And maybe it does take like a kind of a serious conversation with your significant other to say, hey, like, I need you to be a part of this. This is really going to help me in my business. Would you be willing to take a picture of me? Or would you be willing to take a picture of me, you know, and have that conversation with them? And honestly, like a significant other, someone like says like, oh no, I don't support Beachbody, like show them your challenge group, show them how amazing of results these girls are getting, show them the positivity and the encouragement and the words that they're reading, and like the support group and this place of empowerment that these girls are experiencing. And honestly, like if anybody were to look at my challenge group and what these girls have gone through and pushed themselves through and have come out so much better on the other side, like I think it would be really, really, really difficult for a significant other or a husband or a wife or whatever to actually have a problem with that. Because what do we do, you know, as coaches? Like we're trying to help people live healthier and happier lives. So just be willing to be crystal clear on that and incorporate your life. Okay, interests and hobbies, like I said, life before Beachbody and after Beachbody, I talk about that a ton. I talk about what I was like, you know, an overworked yoga teacher, not having time for myself, and now the life that I live here. I talk about, you know, in college, I love the drinking, and now, you know, I don't drink as much because I have this instilled healthy lifestyle. You know, talk about before and talk about after, even if those things before are like forever ago. You know, maybe you really struggle with a healthy lifestyle like back in college or something. Like share about your college journey, you know, share about how you were struggling back then, because I mean, I would claim to bet that I would say like at least 50% of your guys' followings, like we're all like a younger age group, is still in college or maybe still is in high school. So could relate to those things. Even if that's not your story right now, go back and talk about that, pull on the heartstrings of the things that people are struggling with, because then what are you creating? You're creating like this place for people to be relatable to you, for people to say, oh my gosh, she's really authentic and truthful and she's sharing her story authentically. She went through those struggles. If she can do it, so can I, right? So you have to share those things that happened before you became this happy and healthy Beachbody coach, because people aren't going to relate just a happy and healthy Beachbody coach, right? You need to share those struggles. I share a lot about my fashion and my style. I obviously share about my pets. I was talking to Peyton, one of my newest coaches. She has 2 German Shepherds. And I was like, girl, that is one of your brands, 100%. If you have 2 German Shepherds, like big ass dogs that are cool as hell, and you're not sharing them in your Instagram, like that is a huge brand. Do you know how many hashtags of German Shepherd moms are on like this platform that you could relate to? Do you know that Amy Rada and Jamie Innes connected on their puppies, and they were Snapchatting pictures of their puppies before she ever talked about Beachbody, before she ever talked about coaching? Like Jamie's ability to share about Max and like being a fur mom is the connection that made Amy Rada join Jamie's team. Like, hello guys, it's not just all about fitness. It's about sharing your journey and what makes you who you are in those different pieces of your life. So that's a huge one. Let's see, your other jobs. Guys, if you work a corporate job or you're a nurse or you're, you know, a barista or whatever, share about those things, because what is your following doing? Your following is at corporate jobs, right? Your following, you know, they're baristas, they're nurses, they're teachers, they're stay-at-home moms. Share about those things outside of Beachbody, because that's what's going to relate to them. And that's where they're going to be like, oh, she's just like me. If she can do it, I can do it too. So sharing all of those things are super, super important. And then beliefs and spiritual journey, of course, if you have that to share, you can definitely share that as well. So again, yeah, I thought that this was an important thing to reiterate, but you are creating a relationship with your followers. So, you know, Beachbody is a relationship business. So are you sharing enough for someone to feel like they have a relationship with you? And I'm going to sound like a broken record. If you're posting once a day, I highly doubt that you're sharing enough content to actually have somebody create a relationship with you and feel like they're in a relationship, like they're in your story. And this kind of leads me to my second thing. So another activity, I'm almost done, guys. I know this is going really long. I like shortened it because I was like, this is going to be too long. Also, every time I look down, I'm like, oh, tattoo. Okay, so go pick up your phone. I know you guys all have your phones. So I want you to go to your Instagram. And I want you to go to your profile, and I want you to look at the last, let's say like 6 or 7 pictures on your Instagram today. So I want you to ask the question, what did you do this weekend? So if I went to your social media as a brand new follower, would I know what you did this weekend? I know what I did this weekend. I worked out. I got my nails done with Angie. We went out for pizza and beer. We floated the river yesterday. I hung out with my friend Mackenzie. And today, in this post, it doesn't show it, but I say, I went to church. I went stand-up paddleboarding, and I'm finishing up my emails and getting everybody plugged into my new accountability group that starts tomorrow. Like, you guys 100% know what I did this weekend. And I have so many people coming back to my platform over and over and over again, multiple times a day. Like the amount of insights that I get on my Instagram is absolutely insane. And people continue to come back to them. because I'm sharing that story, because I'm constantly pouring all of this content out to my followers, because they know every time they come back to my platform, they're going to get something new. They're going to be able to pretty much live vicariously through me and through my story, because I am open and authentic and I share everything on my platform, so they feel like they're best friends with me. So, I mean, that isn't me just like throwing posts out in the air. That's me like, okay, I need to make sure that my followers feel like they have a relationship with me, and this is what I'm going to share that I did this weekend. So if you can't look back on your platform and understand exactly what you did this weekend, or if a new follower came to your Instagram and doesn't know what you did this weekend besides work out and press play, like, so boring. Hello, that's so boring. You need to share things that have to do with your brand. You have to share things outside of Beachbody and what really makes you you and your story. You have to tell it. So on top of that, mapping out the month for post-wise. So that gives you kind of a broad generalization of, what your post should look like. This is basically what I do posting wise for mapping out the month, for getting people into my challenge groups, getting people excited about my challenge groups. And then again, going back to all that branding information I just shared with you guys. So at the beginning of the month, actually I should start this off with, this is a marketing plan. So again, like I said before, if you're running a business, which all of you guys are, you're running a business, you need a marketing plan. You cannot throw random things on social media and expect yourself to be successful if you're not strategically planning out how you're going to get people into your challenge groups, when you're going to start sharing about your challenge groups, what that marketing is going to look like, when the marketing is going to stop, and then when it's going to restart again. So I always try to start my challenge groups in the middle of the month. Beachbody launched Lift 4 on July 16th for this exact same reason, because like they would never launch a program at the beginning of the month, right? Because then how are you supposed to get anybody in for the next month, right? So for the first half of the month, I'm super, super solid on like hard invites about challenge groups. Even a little bit before like July started, so maybe like 4 or 5 days before July started, I'd post a call to action about my new program, about it launching. Talking about when we're going to be starting and saying, you have 2 weeks or you have 3 weeks to sign up. I'll post a before and after picture and I'll share about it. So that's me strategically planning that. If you look back on my profile, you can see those transformation photos were posted at specific times on specific days on specific days of the month. So I'm really, really hard in the first half of the month, inviting to my challenge groups, inviting to my fitness groups, and getting people stoked. In the middle of the month, usually my challenge group, my fitness group begins. So I'm still inviting via reach outs and on the back end on emails. I'm just not blasting it. Oh, I spelled blasting wrong. Balsting. I'm just not blasting it all over my social media, right? So I get a little bit quieter in the middle of the month about my fitness groups. And I'm really, really intentional about still creating interest in my groups and creating FOMO. So I love this metaphor. I don't remember who told it to me, but I think it's so good. So, and this can go for coaching too. So if someone ever says like no to your challenge group or no to coaching, I kind of think of it as like you asking a guy or a girl out and them saying no to you. And I want you guys to create like the biggest regret or like FOMO for that client. So if someone says no to your challenge group, make it your mission. Make it your mission when that fitness group starts to talk about how freaking amazing it is, about all of the results that your clients are getting, about how much you love this freaking program, about how much fun you're having in it, about how much fun you're having running this alongside other coaches or alongside your clients, all the results they're getting. Make sure that they regret saying no to you. Like, how much more fun does that sound, right? Like, if someone says no to me, I'm like, all right, girl, I'll circle back with you next month. And it becomes my mission to show them, whether I'm screenshotting, emails of updates from my clients, or I'm showing them before and after pictures of clients that month. Make it your mission to show them what they're missing out on. As for like kind of as your plan for anybody who said no to you. And then another thing you could do in the middle of the month, kind of when your fitness group is started, you're still inviting on the back end, but you're not sharing like call to actions all the time. Just up your branding or up sharing about your brands and about whatever makes you you. So at the middle of the month, you can really just start like creating again like that authentic relationship with people and really diving into that. So in the middle of the month, like you'll see me this next week, I'll get pretty quiet. Like I'm not going to share another call to action about Lift 4 because I have enough clients and I have enough people that I'm working on the back end. If you haven't hit Success Club, like I probably wouldn't say that your challenge group is full. But for me, like I have enough clients that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to now just kind of start sharing about my brands, sharing about what I'm doing inside of the challenge group. So it's creating that FOMO for the people that said no. And then I'm also just upping sharing about, what makes me me. And then again, this cycle repeats, right? This is my marketing strategy. It's so easy, right? It's not complicated at all. End of the month, I launch my next group, right? So I create urgency, I create excitement, I create newness to the group. So I always try to call it something different, explain why I'm excited about this group versus the last group. In the spring, I called my groups the Balanced Yogi Project, and it freaking blew up. I had people being like, are you going to launch another Balanced Yogi Project? Was it anything different than 80 Day Obsession? No, but I called it something different so people had something different to grasp onto, because sometimes people just need a different marketing strategy. Sometimes, that will relate to people more than, my fitness group or my accountability group or whatever. I was talking about abs and ass obsession or something was what I initially called it in January and February. And then March, April, May, it was the Balanced Yogi Project. And then June was my food freedom group. So I'm always like creating this marketing strategy for what my fitness groups are going to be called. So people get excited. And yeah, just calling it something different is really fun. Haley Christensen always does that too, and she's a super successful coach. So super really organic way of posting and like sharing about your challenge groups, but just know that like this isn't like all like join my challenge group, join my challenge group, join my challenge group, join my challenge group every single day of every single month, because guys, that turns to white noise so quickly. So have those couple weeks where you're super heavy on getting your clients in, and then other weeks where you can be a little bit more quiet and create that FOMO and show them what they missed by saying no. And then I just have a couple more things for you guys to think about. And I actually posted this in my business builder page a couple days ago. But I would ask you, especially if you go back onto your social media, like, are you posting like the elite coach you're going to be? I really do feel like I've taken my social media seriously ever since I started as a coach. When I had a team of literally 2 people and I wasn't successful at all. And like, but still, even back then, I took my posting really seriously. I always tried to be in natural light. I always, tried to, spend time on my captions so they were authentic. Everything was like crisp and clear. It wasn't perfect, but like I took enough time on my posts that if somebody came to my platform, and this kind of goes to the second point here, people would see me as a fitness coach, and fitness was the forefront of my brand outside of all of those other things that I was sharing consistently. So I would take a hard look at your social media and say, if I was a random new follower and I came to your platform, would they take you seriously as a fitness coach? Are you sharing fitness related things that make you credible, make you look to somebody that they would be like, yeah, I trust her to walk me through my fitness journey? So definitely taking that seriously too. And that definitely goes to this third one. So do you have professional photos taken and on hand in your albums ready to go? Professional photos are key, you guys. I felt so freaking awkward the first time I did professional photos, but it blows your account out of the water. It shows people that you're taking yourself seriously, and you guys are all running businesses. So realistically, like if you are serious about running this business, you need professional photos. Like no yoga studio is going to have a freaking iPhone photo like postered up on their wall, right? It's going to be professionally done. It's going to look professional. It's going to be something that, when somebody comes and looks at it, they're like, wow, this business is taking themselves seriously. They're legit. I trust them. I will spend money on them. Like no one's going to spend money on somebody that they don't see themselves taking themselves seriously. And then another really important thing to have professional photos on hand is it's like, if you ever get in a pinch and there's a day where you're like, holy crap, I'm so busy. Like, I don't necessarily have time to like take a selfie or whatever. You have those professional photos saved in an album. I have an album of like 200 professional photos. So if there's ever a day where I'm like, oh crap, I don't know what to post, I take a professional photo, I grab a little quote or something that I found on Pinterest, and I throw it up on my Instagram. There should be literally no reason why any of you guys should ever not post someday. I have been a coach for 2.5 years, and the only day that I missed posting for a 24-hour period was a day where I was up camping in the enchantments, and I legit didn't have service. So there's never been a point where I haven't shown up to my business, because I treated this like the $1 million business that it is. And a $1 million business, you show up to every day. And social media and Instagram and Facebook, your platforms to share and connect with people, that is your business center. So if you're not showing up on your business center every single day, it's going to be really hard for you to succeed as a coach. Let's see. The other thing I would say is, do you have a consistent edit that you use on ViscoCam? ViscoCam is my favorite editing app. I love it. Shout out to Leanna. She taught me that you can find recipes for filters on Pinterest. So if you go to Pinterest and you go ViscoCam filters, it'll give you recipes on what you kind of want your Instagram feed to look like. If you go to Amy Silverman's Instagram, there is a reason why her pictures all look cohesive and they all look very similar, because she uses the same recipe over and over and over again on ViscoCam, and it makes her profile look very, very professional, very, very neat, very, very organized. And it's really pleasing aesthetically for someone who comes to it and they're like, oh, wow, she really does take herself seriously and she takes time into those edits. So download VSCOcam tonight, figure out what filters you're going to use, and then use those consistently. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking so much. Are you diversifying what you're posting? That just goes back to my brands. Again, you can't do fitness on fitness on fitness. People will unfollow you and disregard you because people want to know you, and you're selling yourself. You're not selling a challenge pack. You're not selling Beachbody. You're selling your story, who you are, why people should have a relationship with you and trust in you to lead them through their fitness journey. And then the last thing is the invite there. So at the end of your post, if it's a call to action or if it's something about coaching, like, are you at the end subtly saying, you know, I'm here for you, girl. You can reach out. Here's my email. Click the link in my bio. If you never give somebody a segue to connect with you, it's going to be really hard. I mean, I would say I reached out to Noelle and I was like, girl, you could be making way more than she was trying to sell, like vegan. What were you trying to sell? Like cleanses or something for like $10 or something. Like I reached out to her and I was like, hey, like, you know, this is like, coaching would be such a better option. So obviously, like, you need that invite on your platform, but you also need to be willing to reach out to people and like ask them, you know, hey, have you ever considered doing what I'm doing? But on the back end of that, you need to have that invite that's subtly there in the ends of your captions so that they can have those kind of like breadcrumbing moments where they're like, okay, like she's inviting me. She wants me to talk to her. This is less scary because she's asking me to talk to her. So always be inviting on the background, but also giving people a segue to talk to you as well. Okay, I think that's all that I have. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I feel like I just talked so much. But Cassie's just gonna go into the back end and talk about invites.
Yes, can you guys hear me? Cool. Okay, so she talked about the social media side. I'm gonna show you how I'm able to hit Success Club. My goal is always Success Club 5 by the end of the first day, so by the first. And then if I haven't hit it by like the second, I'm like freaking out. So my goal is always SC10 by the second or third. Does it always happen? No, but I think I've always hit it by like the 5th or 6th. And for me, I have anxiety, so that just helps me like enjoy the rest of my month because otherwise I like freak out. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. And also I wanted to say, I really loved Carly's questions, and I think it's important to go and do those every like once a month at the very least. But I was just listening to that. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so many things about my brand that have changed and are about to change so much that it's just really good to keep asking your questions because your brand will change as you change. Like if you go into full-time coaching, you change jobs, you have kids, you get married, the things that you talk about are going to change. So it's good to just keep asking yourself those questions. So I'm going to share I'll share my screen in a second. So the first thing I wanted to say, and I would take notes on this, is you have to have a list. If you don't have a list, you have a hobby, not a business. You need to know who you're talking to and who you're going to be inviting. So about a week before every month ends, I'm going hard in the paint on my social media, talking up my next boot camp. And kind of like Carly said, I actually just recently started this past month calling it something other than, like I used to just post a call to action that was like my July, virtual boot camp. And this month I called it my 80/20 project, and that built so much more like interest. So coming up with a cute name, it can be whatever you want, does really, really help. So I would agree with that. So about a week and a half before the month ends, every single day I'm posting subtle jabs that's just talking about my next group. And they're not all call to actions. It's important that you don't post a call to action like back to back to back. Like I really try to be sparing with those because you really want them to pack a punch so that when you do post a really blunt call to action, I have 10 spots, I want you in my group, then people take it seriously and they pay attention to it. But I am posting breadcrumbs for that week and a half. But I also have a list. So I'm not just like posting and hoping that people reach out and hoping that, I hit Success Club because of that, call to action or whatever. I am working from the list of people who told me no last month and the month before and the month before. I'm also working from the list of anybody who likes those posts, anybody who comments or messages me and seems even remotely interested. So however you create your list is up to you. When I first started coaching, obviously it was really simple. It was just pen and paper, and then it moved to, an Excel spreadsheet. Now, Carly and I both use Google Streak. So my list on Google Streak, I can show you guys from, in a second, but everybody who's told me no from last month goes on part of my list, and, from all the months prior. So those are the very first people I reach out to. I also have a list of people who said, maybe next month. They didn't say no, but they also didn't say like like they've specifically said, no, I won't be ready till September. You need to write those names down. So when September 1st comes, you know, like, yes, I have 3 or 4 girls that said, not right now, I'm ready in September. And if you're anything like me, you're going to forget that if you don't write down their names. So you have that list going. So I would say I'm posting call to actions all week. I would say about 3 or 4 days before the month ends, that's when I'm going hard in the paint on actually inviting behind the scenes. So I'm sending my follow-up emails to everybody who told me no, or everybody who just never responded, because you'll have people fill out your form and then never respond to your initial email. Or you'll have people message, say like, awesome, yeah, send me details. You'll get their email and they'll never respond. So those are all people. Follow up with literally everybody. I don't care if it's your great grandma, like you follow up because the fortune is in the fall. So about a week before the month ends, that's what I'm spending a lot of time doing. Like I literally spend probably 2 days just solely focused on being at the coffee shop, answering emails and inviting. And it's a lot of work in that small 48-hour period, but it's so worth it because you can just get Success Club out of the way really, really quick. So Roxy, cut it out. Let me see. Okay. So this is my Google streak, and basically I have challenger prospects, challengers, coaches, and social leads. So this is anybody I've ever talked to on Instagram that we're just like having conversations. And then challenger prospects are I've actually started to, you know, invite them. Like they either filled out my form or I actually invited them, or they were in my free group. So I organize this, you know, however you want. I wouldn't stress about, if you're not using Google Streak, guys, you don't have to suddenly implement this to be successful. Yes, Google Streak is amazing, but if you're a brand new coach, I wouldn't sweat it too much. Just know you need a piece of paper with the people you plan on inviting and reaching out to. And that way, you know, the compound effect takes place, because your list might be small this month, but it's going to keep growing. And every single month, that list of people you can reach back out to is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So do not think that you have to have this, that it has to look like this, because if you're anything like me, you'll just start to be like, well, it needs to be exactly what she does. It needs to be her system. And then you overanalyze, and it's like analysis paralysis, and then you don't do anything. Basically, I'm just showing you this so you know that I'm working from this list, and this one's really important. Wait list for next month is like everybody who told me no. And then if they get stuck anywhere in my funnel from the point where I start talking to them to the point where they actually like join, I have this little just keep following up list, because if you don't respond, or you tell me no, or you know, say next month or whatever, everybody goes on this. I'm going to follow up with you until you like tell me to F off, or you like, you know, pass away. Not to be morbid, but that's how I'm going to follow up, because it shows that you care. Following up shows that you actually weren't just trying to sell them something, you genuinely wanted to help them. So when I follow up, this was for my Mastering Your Mindset, or no, my 80/20 group. And I just said, hey there, how have you been? Just wanted to reach back out and see if you were still interested in reaching your health and fitness goals. Didn't want you to think I forgot about you. I'm gearing up to start our July 80/20 project soon and have a few spots left if you'd like details. Looking forward to hearing from you. Obviously, guys, put this in your own words. You don't have to say it like that. I'm just sharing this with you as my example, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can word it however you feel sounds like authentic to you. So that's the follow-up email I'm sending to everybody on my list. And then obviously, guys, at the same time, I'm doing new invites, like people I've never invited for. 3, 2, 1 days before the month ends, I'm doing those invites so that I'm not waiting until the 1st to start inviting, or I'm not waiting until the 10th of the month or the 15th of the month, or what I used to do when I first started coaching, the end of the month, because you're just trying to hit Success Club, and that was like super stressful. So I'm sending like my new invites out as well. And the people I'm reaching out to invite, like I said, is anybody who comments on your post, anybody who likes your post, anybody who is following you, you can reach out to, right? My reach outs come from my Instagram stories and polls, because another really smart thing is during that like week and a half before the month ends, posting every day little breadcrumbs, but also sharing in your stories. I would say like stories, you can talk a little bit more and invite a little bit more, I feel like. So you could talk about it every day and talk about how the group is about to open up and say, drop your email below or drop some emojis below. In stories, I like to keep it really simple. I don't say, go fill out the link in my bio. I don't typically say that because people are lazy. So I just say, drop your favorite emoji below. And like I circle the part where they would drop an emoji. Or I'll say, drop your email and I'll send you information. And if you post that 4 or 5 days in a row, not in an annoying way, just like you know, hey, want to work out with me? Drop your email below. And then the next day you could show a transformation of a client and be like, you know, you want to get results with me and my girl Kayla? Drop your email below. So it's just different ways of kind of inviting, but it's in your stories. So that's a really good way to help you get interest. And you can also reach out to any of those people who see your stories. Another tip that I often forget that is super, I'm going to stop sharing this, super helpful is that I often forget, but it's really, it works really well. Sometimes it's asking for a referral. So every single person who joins your boot camp, I would just say something like, you know, word it however you want in your own words, but I would just say something like, awesome, I'm so excited you're joining us. Do you have anybody else, like friends or family, who would be interested in joining us? Because it'll help you stay so much more accountable. And this is so much more fun when we can do it together. So I kind of phrase it in a way like, this is going to help you because it is. Imagine if they had their sister or their cousin doing it with them, they're 10 times more likely to stick with it. So not only does it help you build your customer base and help you hit Success Club, but it helps them stay accountable and they are way more likely to stay on track. I just had 2 girls join this month who were cousins and did that. So it was like, always ask for referrals. You can also ask for referrals if somebody says no, which I know sounds really weird, but especially when they say no to like coaching, you can ask for referrals. So if somebody, you've invited them to coaching and maybe you followed up with them a couple times and they're still like, no, not for me, not right time. Awesome, girl, you know, I'm not going to keep bugging you about this. I know coaching isn't for you right now, but do you know anybody who's interested in starting an at-home business? Or do you know anybody who's interested in being a stay-at-home mom, or whatever your brand is, like whatever your why is, so to speak. So always asking for referrals, even if they told you no. So if they said no to your challenge group, that's okay. You can still ask them, do you know anybody who's interested in getting fit for July? Because who doesn't know somebody who's trying to lose weight? Like, I feel like everybody does. And they may or may not give it to you, but what do you have to lose, right? And then because you asked for the referrals, sometimes people, it's like reverse psychology. And sometimes people will be like, but wait a minute, I thought you wanted me. And then they kind of get like FOMO, and then they kind of start to like want to join. The last thing I was going to say is, I don't know what the point, I had a note here for what I was going to say, and then I don't understand what my note says. But usually I will let people join. So the way I run my boot camps, they're like kind of ongoing. So the only time I'll tell somebody that they have to wait until the next month is if it's like 4 or 5 days till the next month, in which case I'll say, like, so excited, would love to have you join. Enrollment doesn't open till the 1st. That way, you know, you can invite all month long, guys. You can literally invite all month long if you want. That way, if you have, you know, 2 weeks till the month ends and you have 4 or 5 girls who said they were in, you could say, awesome, I'm going to email you on the 1st when enrollment opens. You'll get one of the first spots. I accept 10 new women, and I will reach out to you then. And then on the 1st, they're the very first people I email, and they know, like, they're expecting that email to come, and then they're ready to sign up. And when I sign up, obviously I use Share a Cart because I like to make things as simple as possible for everybody. So I think it's just a matter, last thing is creating urgency. So I do let them know the day that we're starting. I do let them know I only have 10 spots because that's just the way I do my challenge groups. I like to take on 10 challengers, and then everybody else is like new coaches and business builders. So I let them know how many spots. I let them know when it's closing, how many spots are left, that sort of thing, so that they know that there's a sense of urgency and they like need to join now. I'm out of breath for some reason. So that's kind of it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If you already posted a question and we missed it, you can like repost it now. But go ahead and ask questions. Carly, do you have anything else to add before we open for questions?
No, that was awesome. Yeah, we'll leave it open if you guys have questions. Just maybe say who you're asking the question to, and then either Cassie and I'll answer, or you can just ask a question and one of us will.
Do you invite daily or kind of during a certain period and when it feels right? Does it matter who answers that?
Go for it.
Honestly, it's a combination of both. So one of the National Wake Up Calls I listened to the other day, I think it was Kimora, she was like, a lot of coaches do most of the vital behaviors on their checklist, but very few people do all of them. And imagine if you did all of them every day, if you actually invited every single day. So I would say if you start to like overthink it and you're waiting for this perfect moment, my biggest pet peeve, guys, is when people are like, because I'm straight and to the point, I think people appreciate that. So a lot of times coaches will be like, well, I don't want her to think I reached out to her only so I can invite her. First of all, who gives a shit? Second of all, people appreciate you getting to the point. It actually is more genuine. If I'm talking to somebody for 4 or 5 months and then they finally invite me, that to me feels so much more icky than just being to the freaking point and be like, hey girl, I've loved talking to you. I love getting to know you. No clue if this would be for you, but I'm starting our July boot camp soon and I would absolutely love for you to join us. Like, I am all about getting to the point, and I've never once had anybody say anything to me or feel weird about that or feel like that was gross. So I just think that it's also a numbers game. And if you spend 6 months talking to somebody before you invite them, you're never going to hit those numbers. Also, that is not duplicatable. Your team cannot be talking to people for months and months and months on end before they invite. So I would say it's pretty easy to invite every day because you don't have to wait for this perfect time. Don't overthink it. Just put it out there. And when you invite, just get in a positive space where you are thinking about what a gift it is, where you're making it about the other person and how much you have the potential to bless them versus making it about you and what are they going to think about me, and are they going to think this is gross, and are they going to not like me? Because really, who cares? It's not about you. It's not about me. You know what I mean? It's about them. So if you sit in that space when you invite, it's going to be easier. So I don't know if that was like a long answer to a simple question. I'm sorry. I think I'm committing to, yes, the 100 challenge like Bree talks about. That's amazing. I think that's such a good idea. And with Lift 4 not having to work out as much as we all did on like 80-day obsession, we'll have so much more time to invite. That was hard. I think the next one's for you, Carly.
Is there ever a situation where you cold invite, or is there always a convo before? With coaching, if I ever find somebody who's like a bomb.com, I'm like, hey girl, I know this is super random, but have you ever considered doing what I do? They can never say, that's gross, because they obviously think what I do is cool because they're either following me or like they can go to my platform and know what I do is cool. So I think that is like a total easy way to be like, hey, like I was totally just creeping you. I love this. I love that. Have you ever considered doing what I do? And usually it'll be like, well, what do you do? And I'll say, well, let me tell you. As far as challengers though, again, having that conversation, but guys, like when I used to not post as much and I was just all about fitness, I would have to spend a lot of time in the background with conversations, telling them about my accountability group, telling them about what I do as a coach, telling them what the accountability groups look like, telling them about the fact that I work out every day, telling them all these things about me and try to relate to them and all these different things. If you take the initiative to post enough about your life, you won't have to do those things in the background because people are going to be like, you're amazing. I know exactly who you are. I am ready to join your group. But if you don't give people those segues of like creating that relationship with you, you're going to be required to have a lot of conversations and practice instilling trust and having those conversations before they're ever going to trust you enough. I mean, I have people come to me all the time now. We're like, I'm ready to join your group. They know exactly what my group looks like. They know exactly what I do as a coach. They know exactly what my life looks like on a day-to-day basis because I literally share everything and just like boom, like fire.
Yeah. So I would add to that. I don't do cold invites. I am having like conversations, but the only time I do that is if they actually like a coaching call to action where I'm talking about like, hey, I have a sneak peek. And I've had quite a few coaches be like, yeah, I was actually really interested in joining, and they'll join my sneak peek and then sign up as a coach. Because sometimes that's like somebody's way of saying I want in your sneak peek because I'm liking it. So what was the next one?
And then Jessica asked, with the new Insta algorithms, how many times a day do you think is productive to post to your feed? Enough times where people can create a relationship with you. And I personally, with my experience, and I work with other coaches in the network that literally post once a week, and great for them. That's so awesome. For me, I would say post at least 2 to 3 times a day. I don't think that one post a day, especially if you're going to share your workout every single day, is enough for you to share your story and about who you are as a person, especially if one of those posts automatically are taken up about you being consistent in your fitness journey. So a minimum 2. Andy said, I just joined as a coach Friday. How can I start with challenge groups and stuff when I haven't tried anything yet? I couldn't afford the extra money to get Lift 4, so I'm not sure what I can do. Well, you'll have access to Beachbody On Demand, and I don't encourage any of my coaches to work as a coach unless they go through a program. That's all.
How long do you spend talking to someone? So how long do you spend talking to someone before you invite? It honestly depends. I just trust my intuition and feel it out. But it's not very long usually. I would say like I get to know them. I have some conversation. I ask them like, where they live or about their dog or what they do for work and do they like work? But I would say my average is maybe 4, 5, 6 at the most back and forth exchanges. And what typically happens 99% of the time is the conversation dies off because they don't respond to my last message. And I love when that happens because I don't feel like having small talk with 100 people a day. Ain't nobody got time for that. So when it just dies off, and I notice, hey, a week later they didn't respond, I'm like, boom, this is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and invite. And that's exactly what I do all damn day. And I love it because I'm just like, I don't want to have small talk forever because I just don't have time. And I also hate small talk. So it's like, just having a few messages, and then I'll just be like, hey girl, this is super random, but have you ever thought about doing what I do? I ask it literally in the same way that Carly does.
And Leanna, your question about like the signature at the bottom, I just created it on Canva, and then you can upload it into Google Streak. I don't know about with just regular Gmail, but you have to import it as a picture within your Google Drive. So it links the photo as a Google Drive picture. So it stays like visible on your email signatures. But if you go to settings in your email signatures, you can do it. Carly, let's see. Oh, would you suggest going through one program completely, having before and afters before coaching, starting to post an idea about coaching? Yes and no. I think a lot of people like wait till they finish their program to have this amazing transformation before they start. But I think there's also something to be said about sharing that journey and share. Like if you're starting 80-day obsession, like I would say, post exactly, yeah, what Emily Favre did. Like she, you post your 10-day results, you post your 30-day results, you post your 40-day results, and at least you're creating that interest. I wouldn't necessarily maybe host a challenge group by yourself until you've completed a program, but the day that you sign up as a coach is the day that you start marketing yourself on social media. Like the least smart thing to do is to like wait until the perfect time to start, posting on social media, because all it does is take time to grow that platform. It takes time and consistency and that effort over time for you to create that trust with people. So start that now. Don't wait for it.
How do you transition yourself to a coach on social media when you are just starting out? I don't think there's a transition, because you should probably start talking about it like right now. My biggest thing is always just faking it till you make it. And we all have to do it. You just have to. So even if you're a brand new coach and you have no team, nobody knows that. Nobody knows how much money you're earning. Nobody knows where you're at in your business. But if you talk like the coach you want to be, that is what you're going to put out in the world. That's the energy you're going to get off, and that's what people are going to pick up. So I always just try to act like the diamond coach and the star diamond coach and etc. I wanted to be. So I would just start posting coaching breadcrumbs now, because you attract what you post about. And obviously adding coaches to your team is, in the long term, where you make more money and where you help impact more lives, in my opinion. So getting challengers is awesome, don't get me wrong, but if you never talk about coaching, like it's going to be a struggle bus to build your income. So I would say just talking about it like, now, and just fake it till you make it, and don't stress about having to transition at any point.
Yeah, I mean, and it shouldn't have to be a transition, because you're sharing about who you are, right? Like fitness coach is like one of like 5 brands of who you are, right? So, I mean, you can share about everything that has to do with your life and then subtly add in fitness. When I posted my transformation of the 21-day fix, I think in the comments was like, my mom and I literally laughed when we first pressed play on this at-home workout, because who the fuck thinks that at-home programs work? And then I just like talked about my story, and people were like, whoa, like she thinks the same thing that I do, but she did it and she got good results. So like speak to exactly like how you're feeling when you first started, because like that's so relatable to everyone else who isn't in the Beachbody community. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? All right. Well, thanks for hopping on. I'll post the recording so you can tag your coaches if they couldn't make it tomorrow on the team page. And I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.